Alright, everybody, welcome back to a brand new Ptcg video, and today, guys, we're going to be taking a look at the best decks of the standard format for December 2016, the final, the finale. Well, not the finale, there's still going to be more of these, but this is going to be the last video of the best decks in standard format of 2016, moving into 2017, and that's going to be like, I mean, it's 2017 by the time you're watching this, but you get my point. So, it's going to be awesome, it's going to be fun, and we're going to take a look at all the best decks. There were a few. First off, we got these Talonflames. Talonflame isn't really a deck itself. It does see play in decks, so like Garchomp and Greninja, so you got to include Talonflame there, because it does play a big role in those decks. Pidgeot, Mirror Move is still a pretty good deck. It's still doing pretty well, and, you know, it's still performing good in a lot of tournaments. We got Pidgeot in there, we got Mega Pidgeot. Mega Pidgeot's got it going on with Mox Cyclone, and you know what? It's a decent card. You know, I made my video on this with Audino. Audino won't be in this, but Mega Pidgeot EX is still, you know, people are talking about it. It's still doing good. I think the normal Pidgeot is doing better with the attack mirror move, but for the time being, you got Pidgeot. Raticate's up there too. Raticate, it's doing well. We're seeing it with Houndoom, and we're also just seeing it with like Evolution. So Raticate is still, you know, it's like it's a good card. Shadowy Bite's a good attack. It's basically like Drifblim's attack, so you know it's still got the potential to work well. Mega Ray decks are still pretty powerful. Emerald Break is one of the strongest attacks in the game when you have a full bench, and it just works pretty well. So you know what, Rayquazza's still up there. Even with like Zebstrika and stuff, it's still working. Snorlax GX. Now this is a card you can actually use on PTCGO, and I'm actually seeing a fair amount of Snorlax GX on this game right now. So Snorlax GX I put on here. It's seeing play mostly with Hypno. We got Darkrai EX. Darkrai EX still being played with like Giratina and stuff. Now the problem is Yveltal is kind of overshining it now, but it's still a good card nonetheless. Baby Yveltal with Fright Knight. This is another really good card. We're seeing it played with Yveltal. It's, you know, one of the best non-EX attackers in the game right now. Pitch Black Spear is a very good attack. And even Fright Knight can be a good ability. Yveltal EX, this is the deck that is everywhere. It is dominating the standard format. It is known as the best deck in the standard format. Yveltal EX is doing very, very good. And it's definitely on here. It's overshrined. Darkrai is the best dark type attacker. Giratina is doing good with the dragon type variants. And, you know, Giratina Darkrai is still doing pretty good as a deck too. So Giratina's on there. And then, you know what, we got Salamence EX, the new EX that just came out. It's probably the last EX we're ever getting. And it's very, very good. Beastly Fang is a pretty strong attack. And you know what, there are decks that are playing Salamence. You know, I've done a lot of decks. I've already done like 4 decks, I think, in the past. 3 or 4 decks in the past that already have used Salamence. So Salamence, it's such a good card. Mega Gardevoir decks are also very, very good. Mega Gardevoir, Despair Ray, you know, people are using Gardevoir, and they're having like Haluchas and Rattatas in the deck, stuff like that, little tech cards, and you know, Mega Gardevoir is still proven to be a very good deck. Rainbow Road is also still being a good deck. Rainbow Force is a very, very powerful attack, never underestimate it. You know, people are also using this now with like other EXs. I'm seeing like Genesect EX, Umbreon EX, Flygon EX being thrown into Rainbow Road instead of like Galvantula and Volcania now, which is pretty interesting. Xerneas Break, this is another decent rogue deck. It's not really a tier 1 deck, but it's a good rogue deck. People, you know, now that we have Salamence, you can use it with Salamence now and Giratina to give it more of an edge, so who knows? I already made a video on that in the past, but you got my point. Zygarde EX decks are still good. It's basically the only good fighting deck right now in Standard, so you know what, you still got your boy Zygarde there. Houndoom mill decks are being popular right now, mainly with Raticate, like I just said before. Raticate with Houndoom is doing very good right now, so your boy Houndoom, he's got to be on here. Volcanion decks are still performing very good. Even with Garbodor in the format, Volcanion can still handle its own. One of the big things Volcanion can do against Garbodor is just Lysander or Garbodor and Volcanic Heat, knock it out. It works fairly good, and you know, the Volcanion decks are performing well. Now that Salamence is out, Volcanion even has its new partner to have, so you got that. Vespiquen. Now, Vespiquen, I always thought this card would die out thanks to Battle Compressor being gone, but it's performing good. I mean, it has a decent, you know, type advantage against Greninja, and not to mention, it, you know, can work with Klefki Unknown. People are using this mostly with Zebstrika right now to counter Yveltal. I'm seeing one deck that has like Raichu in it, and you know, Garbodor is also in the Vespiquen deck, so Vespiquen, it's still popular, it's still going strong. It's a good rogue deck right now. That's why it's good. One Vileplume, well, not one Vileplume, the heck am I saying one for? Vileplume's in here. Vileplume, very nice card. You know, you got your Vileplume box decks with, like, you know, Jolteon, Glaceon, and, you know, Umbreon, all that stuff. Or just, like, Vileplume Zygarde, or maybe if someone makes, like, another Vileplume deck that uses, like, I don't know, Vileplume Yveltal or something like that. Oop, just gave you a new idea. There you go. Superior decks are still doing good. Coil is a good attack. Slashing Strike is a good attack. And, you know, it's just a rogue deck nonetheless. You know, Superior, it's never going to be a tier 1 deck, I don't think, unless, like, some crazy card comes out that gives Superior, like, 400 health. But Superior, it's a good rogue deck right now. I made a video on it before in the past. And Superior, it's doing good as a decent rogue deck. You know, it's a good budget deck if you're new to the game and stuff like that. So, Superior, repping for the grass types. Also, Zipstrika, it's, you know, obviously, you know, being used as an Evil Toll counter. I've used my Zipstrika. I have so many Zipstrika decks. I got the Vesperquin Zipstrika, I got Evil Toll Zipstrika. Then I have the anti-meta deck that I made. And then I got the Audino Pidgeot deck test deck that I made, that ran Zipstrika. Zipstrika, obviously, it's there to counter Evil Toll. Jolteon EX, Jolteon is still doing good. Mainly, we're seeing it with, like, the Vileplume box. We're also seeing it with Raikou Electrode, which we're going to do in a minute. Raichu I'm seeing played with the Vespiquen decks, but I'm also seeing the Raichu Skyfield deck. It's still a decent deck. Not the best, but it's decent. Raiku's still doing good with Electrode. Electrode Raikou is a very good deck right now, so gotta watch out for that. So we got Raikou on there. Mega Scizor variants are doing good. I know Mega Scizor Eradicate's doing good right now, so there you go. I know, I don't know about Scizor Garbodor, but I know Scizor Eradicate is performing pretty well right now. Mew, it's not really a deck by itself, but it's seen played in some decks. You know, people are running the Mew. They're also using the other Mew, but people are using Mew just because it's a Psychic type, which means it can counter the other Psychic type, Mewtwo YEX, which is undeniably one of the best decks in Standard right now. It can compete for the second place. I don't think it would be able to beat for the first place, but it's definitely competing for second place against Evil Toll EX for the best deck in the Standard right now. So Mewtwo Y is still doing good. Garbodor is obviously with Evil Toll, but people are using Garbodor in other decks now. You know, you got Garbodor Vespiquen, you know, the Garbodor anti-meta deck I made. Garbodor, it's a good card, and it is continuing to be good, really without, like, any way to stop Garbotoxin, without, like, using Lysander, or, like, I don't know, Cinccino or Minccino, whatever it is. It's kind of just going to be stuck there being very powerful. Greninja decks, they're also popping up pretty well. Greninja's doing fairly good. Also competing up there for one of the best decks in Standard, I think. It's just such a good card. Like, the Greninja decks, they may be annoying to play against, but they are extremely good, and they really are nothing to mess with. Glaceon, also there with Crystal Ray. Glaceon seen play in, like, Water Toolbox decks, but it's also seen play in, like, the Vileplume box deck, so I had to include Glaceon on there. And finally, we got Regice. Regice, it's still popping up in those water decks. You know, Resistance Blizzard's a good attack. I'm seeing, like, Regice Garbodor now on this game, too. So, you know, Regice, it's definitely still up there and performing pretty well for those water types. I think this is the best decks in the Standard format. Here you go, all these little, you know, cards, not the decks. You know, people are like, why don't you show your deck list in this video? Well, you know, that would take hours. That would be like an hour-long video. I'd have to go through, like, each deck list of each card here. Dude, that would not be fun. So I'm going to show you the cards. It's just giving you a brief explanation. So, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you hit like button, don't forget to subscribe for more Ptcg videos. Help me on the road to 2,000 subscribers. This was the best decks in Standard for December of 2016. Will January 2017 be different? Who knows? I think in February we're getting Sun and Moon. I don't think it's in January. So, Sun and Moon is going to be coming soon to mix the game up. So, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in another PCO video. Peace out.